Hi everybody, so I decided that I was going to make a video about something that bugs me, because I already did a video that was like that. It was what bugs me about YouTube, and I figured I would keep a little bit of a series going here and talk about what bugs me about trying to become a musician. Shut up. I'm trying to make a video here. I talk to people, I make videos sometimes. No, 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 no. No, my blinds are hitting my camera. So here's the deal. When you're trying to become a musician, or you're an aspiring musician, or you just like playing music sometimes, kinda. This is gonna take so long to edit right now. Let's change the scenery a little bit, shall we? Oops. You'll find that there's a lot of things that will stand in your way. Of course, the very first thing that everybody always thinks about is whether or not people are gonna like it. And I think a lot of problems that we have as musicians is that we don't want to start out for small crowds of 1 and 2 people, or just start playing in public and have people walk by, because we're afraid of being judged for what we do in our music. But the problem is, we need to play to bigger crowds and bigger audiences, because if we don't, it's less likely that someone's actually going to like it. When you have more people listening to your music at one time, you have a better chance of people liking it and getting an accurate representation in your mind of what your music sounds like to people, and if people actually even like it. When you play to one person or 2 people, it's hard to impress 2 people, because if you impress one of the 2 people, you've only gotten half. Makes your odds seem a lot worse. The problem is, as musicians, and this is the first thing that I really dislike about trying to be a professional musician, it's hard to get big audiences. Once you have an idea of what you're going to do and where you're going to go and who you're going to play for, you have to worry about a whole lot of things. First of all, you can't get a big audience at a venue unless you are already well known, but you can't become well known unless you're playing for big audiences. So it's kind of a vicious circle. That's why you've got to play outside in front of people randomly. And you can do this anywhere. There are a lot of laws that talk about whether or not you have to have a license to do that. It's called busking. But a lot of places, and at least in America, say that if you are playing and you're not playing for money, you can play, as long as you're not disrupting any sound ordinances or anything like that. And that is what I do. I play outside for people. Another thing that I really hate about trying to be a musician is when you just finish writing a song and you go play it for one person, and it's the first person you play it for, and they tell you they don't like it. We often will, or at least I will, I'll often scrap the song. And the problem is, I've not played it for anybody else or gotten a second opinion. So for all you guys who are musicians out there, if you make a song and the first person you tell doesn't like it, then maybe you should go get some more second opinions. Just put it up. Sometimes I put up songs that I really don't like on YouTube, and they do really well. But sometimes I put up songs that I don't even like, and they don't do so well, so I can take them down later. It's not like you can never delete them. You can always scrap the song later. Now, when you're talking about songwriting, there's the obvious problem of not trying to write songs to sound like something that you have already heard. Sometimes I'll hear a band or an artist, or I'll be listening to one in the car, and when I come in and I'm writing a song, because it's on my mind, I start to imitate the songwriting qualities of the song I just listened to. I hate that. I hate it because it's hard to make your own style. Now, that's one big thing that I really dislike about being a musician. It's hard to make your own style and to have it be said, just have somebody say to you, hey, well, that sounds like nothing I've ever heard before. So don't get discouraged when people are telling you, oh yeah, you just sound like so-and-so, or you're ripping them off, or whatever. There's nothing new under the sun, so you're always going to sound like something. The hard thing to do is, it's really hard to sound like nothing people have heard, but you really got to span the generational gap. That's why bands like the Beatles, who were around for a while, and bands like the Rolling Stones are still touring, it's because their music went over a couple different, went over a long period of time, and so different generations hear it. Now, of course, there is something to be said about the Beatles having the ability to write songs that are timeless, but the point still stands. And lastly, I really, really hate the fact that when you're a musician, you have this, like, stigma attached to you. I have a full-time job. On average, on a good week, I'm working 40 hours a week. Now, because the job is pretty flexible as far as hours go, and you know, we only get work as the work is signed. So on a good week, though, on a normal week, we're working 40 hours a week, sometimes 45, sometimes 35, but 40 hours a week. When I tell people that I'm a musician, or that I have tattoos like that, or a tattoo like this, people automatically assume I am some sort of starving artist. Like I live in a little rundown apartment that Oh wait, I do live in a little rundown apartment. But the point is, people assume that I'm just like this broke guy who doesn't have any money to his name, no car, no job. I have a car that I paid for myself. I bought it, and I paid for it myself. Paid it off really recently, actually, this year. And I have a job which pays for the expenses that I incur. I'm not a bum. So please, if you're a new musician, or a struggling musician, or an old musician who is struggling, or not struggling, or whatever, don't ever be discouraged by these things that happen to you, because you gotta keep in mind that maybe your first audience didn't like it, but there's always another audience. There are 7 billion other people on this earth. You've got a lot of people to play to. So don't be discouraged. And if you're not making an impact now, keep doing it. It's the same with videos. Everyone on YouTube who are giving advice to other YouTubers, they say, keep doing it, keep making videos, because you never know. So that's the same thing with music. Keep writing songs. Keep posting songs. Put every song you've ever made out, because you never know. And I mean, in today's day and age, I just pulled my headphone jack out of my computer. In this day and age, we've got technology that allows any musician with a laptop that has a microphone and camera built in to post songs. So keep posting everything you make, because you have the ability to. There's no excuse. Put everything out, because you never know when your little 2-minute song that you didn't think was really good because it was about hot dogs and you kind of didn't really like the content of the song, that may become the next big thing. I mean, look at some of the songs we have out right now. I mean, Gangnam Style, good song, but nobody actually really knows what it's actually about. You have to do some research to figure that out. And if you don't want to be a mainstream artist, you got to understand that getting to fame and fortune is a lot more difficult than somebody hearing one of your songs and it taking off and making it big. If you want to be a less mainstream artist, you've got to understand it's going to take years of building a fan base. If your songs are not the kind of songs that be played on mainstream radio stations, then you're going to have to build a fan base. But a lot of people who start building that fan base, they can have a song go mainstream. But point is, if you're a regular everyday artist, you never know when your next little song that you didn't really like could go big. So don't be discouraged. Keep writing and keep finding more people to add to your audience. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, stay classy.